If you want to stay home because you're sick, you need to call me, not text me. Why the fuck is this a thing? So they can intimidate us into coming in? Text is objectively better for documentation. Text is objectively better for documentation. Exactly, calling is better for them so that they can conveniently forget that you ever called in the first place. Before you call them, send them a text. I'm going to call you because I'm sick. If they don't pick up, send them a second text. I tried calling you because I'm sick, but you didn't pick up. If they answered, thanks for processing the call where I called in sick. Yes, they often have that requirement. I know mine has that written in the employee handbook. However, it also has the exception that a text message is sufficient in the cases where you are unable to call. My excuses has always been that my throat is sore or for personal reasons I was unable to call. Well, guilt-tripping people for being a bad wage slave works better on a phone call because it's harder to ignore. I've been on a 7-3 for my last couple of jobs. Every time my manager tries to pull, you must call in on the phone X hours before your shift begins. I clarify that they want to receive a phone call at home at 4 in the morning or whatever time, and suddenly texting becomes just fine. Get their cell phone number. Call them at 4 a.m. to tell them you will not be into work because you are sick. Call back at 5 a.m. to confirm you called out sick. Call again at 6 a.m. to confirm that you are confirming they understand you are not coming into work because you are sick. Set up emails to send at specific times between the calls you make to alert them you are calling out sick. Called off sick, and every time the manager was not available, left a message with someone else. You should have kept calling. Called 3 times, asshole. You should have come to the phone. So they can intimidate us into coming in? Yes, basically. One time I was bedridden sick. Like the worst I've been sick in my life. I texted a coworker friend to pass message along to my boss that I won't be in at all. It was office job. Salaried. My manager was a bit snarky about it later and said I need to call her. I didn't have the heart to tell her she was not important enough to be saved in my contacts. And I had been in no condition to dig around looking for her business card to be able to reach her. At that moment, she was informed and had all the facts she needed. So they can guilt you into coming to work. Hey, I have to miss today, my daughter is sick. Boss, can't your wife watch her? Me, no. My wife is management and has to be there. Boss, you can't take her to daycare? Me, no. Daycare won't take sick kids with a fever. Boss, you don't have family who can watch her. Me, no. I don't. Boss, I guess you've called off. Click. Just say that this call might be recorded and or monitored and continue the call. I used to work at a place that was so big. Their call-out line was a 1800 number that played a very long recording about how important you are, how much they need you, and if you aren't that sick, you should really still come in, even if it's only for part of your shift. Then they put you on hold while transferring you to a human. I had this happen years ago. I was sick as a dog with a toddler at home. Could hardly pick up my kid for a friend to babysit while I slept. I texted first. Then a couple of hours later called. Their first response: you don't sound sick enough. If the boss is of tardigrade level intelligence and demands you call, then do both. Ensure you have written documentation. My work only has a computer automated system. You log in and choose your type of absence and for how many days you will be out and submit. The computer logs as and gives you a confirmation number which I screenshot and save. Want to? I am not asking, I am informing. No, don't. They want to guilt trip you, blackmail you, or intimidate you into coming. Always do it with a paper trail. sounds like a control freak who wants to adjudicate whether you sound sick to them or not. Also, don't most employees nowadays, even those in office, use their personal device as a phone line? Well, I'm glad to be working with leadership who are fine with a DM to call out sick. It's so middle management with no obvious people skills or psychological or medical training can try and act like they can tell you're fit to work based off the sound of your voice. Call in sick at 3 a.m. Wake them the fuck up. I just wanted to give you as much notice as possible, so they can say you don't sound sick. When you tell them, then you go, okay, bye. Call with a raspy whispered voice that you can't make it to work. Barely audible. Making the boss guess who's calling. About 5 minutes later, send a text that you tried to call but your voice was so bad they couldn't hear you. Call them up. I'm pretty sick today. Just hold on a sec. I really need to sit down. OGHAWD. AGGGHHSAAA sounds of water pouring into water. Oh man. Oh man. GGHAHAA more pouring water. Oh shit. As I was saying, puffing, I'm pretty crook. I have explosive diarrhea. OGGNNAAA more water pouring sounds. I don't think I can make it. But you said to call. Oh god. Do both. Send them a text and say, I will be out. Please expect my call in X minutes. Thanks. When supervisors ask this, I do 4 a.m. when I get up. Most often, they don't answer. So still text. All the good sups MGRS I've had ask for text and only request a call for serious things. It's illegal to try to pressure you into coming into work when you're sick. If you have a manager trying to make you feel bad about exercising your right to call into your place of employment and tell them you won't be coming in, then kindly tell them you won't be listening to anything but I understand and will see you when you feel better as a response. Stand up for yourselves. Managers power trip, but people in the wrong are wrong. At my work we call into an answering machine and also text our supervisor. Work requires no proof of being sick. In fact, we can go home at any time for any reason. I can go up to my supervisor mid-shift and say I'm going home. They might grumble a bit, but they have to let us leave. They text me and don't call when they're asking me to cover. So I'm gonna text and not call when I'm sick. It's a two-way street. Simple as that. Just play diarrhea noises while you call in. My boss did this. It was the absolute worst. And that's going to create before you die. You have to inform me. Yes, when you call, my boss has intimidated me. Now I just email and done and don't reply back. If he replies, none of his business. Reading these comments helps with my bowel movements. Thanks Reddit. I usually only call out when I'm vomiting. So if this happened, I'd just call and let them listen to me vomit until they hang up. Easy solution for those say texting for documentation. Have the phone call immediately after. Screenshot call history. Then text email as discussed. I will not be coming into work today due to reason. You have proof with the screenshot that the call took place. Yes. I also fucking hate making calls that can be a text. I tell this to my guys because a lot of the time it's time sensitive and I may miss a text while driving. If they call me, both of us know the situation, and I can now find someone to cover more expediently. If someone who is going to open one of my stores texts me at 8 a.m. and we open at 9, and I don't see the text right away, that's going to be difficult. I don't mind if people call in sick, but you have to call me. You can't text. I always answer my phone, but I don't always see texts right away for a myriad of reasons. Usually the boss wants to know if they can bring you some chicken soup or a heating pad.